how you show up outside is so telling, and why you're going to be memorable, why they're going to refer their friends, their loved ones to you.
The key is what you actually commit to has to be something that you consistently can actually achieve.
What the two of you have done so incredibly well is building this advocacy in your list of people. So let's shift gears for a second and talk about social. How does social media play into your strategy of relationship building? Sarah, we'll start with you.
Sure. So I want to show what I'm out and about doing in the community, whether it's through the properties we're selling or buying, or just the neighborhoods I'm walking and showing. So the strategy behind that is to be pretty consistent, but again, authentically consistent. And I'm going to just say that word a lot. And sorry, it'll be repetitive, but it's really, social media is very hard for me. So I would say that this is an area strategic or strategy-wise, that was pretty challenging, because you do have to be active, you have to be consistent, and really, for me, intentional about what I'm posting. So yeah, the strategy behind that is not only the posts and the properties and the neighborhoods, but also I use it as connection. So I use it as cold messaging rather than a text. And I also, when I first started, actually, I allotted an hour to my day where I would engage with people on social media, and I would put in like the hashtags of the areas, or like go to different accounts to where I wanted to work and engage with that. Again, not expecting that business is going to come tomorrow, but just getting that presence organically, you know, engaging with the people that I want to be engaging with, potential clients, but also different agents. So kind of the back end of that for me is just recognizing that social media is really important in what we do, and how, like, leveraging that to build more relationships. And yeah, of course, showcase things that we're doing, but just really show everyone where I'm working, you know, the events that we have, those things.
Love that. Social media is part of your
social media. So, I mean, I think at the end of the day, we all know that in today's day and age, it is a resume. Like, it is, I would argue it's where people go before they even find your website, if they actually even get to finding your website.
Yeah,
to be
if
honest.
they even care you
Like,
have a website.
they might not even go to your website. So I think it's, but I've always had such a fundamental belief that I think social should be a mixture. It should kind of be a sprinkling. Like, my rule of thumb is kind of a third, a third, a third. A third personal, a third real estate, a third involvement in community. And if you can kind of have all three showcased, I think you're showing that you're a human at the end of the day, which is what people do connect with. You're showing that you're obviously selling real estate because you are a real estate agent. You don't need to, in my opinion, be just sold, just listed, just sold, just listed. I mean, I hate to be rude. I find that frankly a bit obnoxious. Everyone knows you're selling and buying, but you can do it in a more tasteful manner. And then community involvement, again, speaking back to kind of our authenticity, what's coming up in the community, what's happening. If it's a holiday weekend, what can you highlight? Really just kind of give people that passport to what they need. And I mean, I'll have people message me and be like, oh my gosh, it's Mother's Day. Shoot. I know you'll know what I need. You've got all the, you know, everything's on your radar. What should I get my wife? So it just becomes, again, a really easy place to kind of show people, like, I'm here to interact with you, whatever that might be.
And do you use it also as as proactive outreach? Like, do you look at what people are posting themselves to use as like a, hey, like if you're popping by or seeing them, do you use it as a little like detective tool?
I mean, I personally should probably spend more time on it than I do. But I find I literally am like, if I could just cover a third, whew, I'm good.
Good.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good to go. I love that idea, Sarah, especially if you're a newer agent, obviously, and you have more time than someone who's, you know, in the top 1%, but that spending that hour of building the engagement around what people are posting, I think is such a great idea. Let's talk a little bit about the setup behind all of this, because this, of course, a business of your size, of your level, events of this nature, all the logistics that go along with it doesn't just happen willy-nilly. You don't wake up in, you know, June 1st and you're like, okay, this month we're going to do this. Like, that's not how it happens. How do you have it set up? How do you kind of keep on track? What does the system behind the relationships look like?
So I think our admin, Angela, is a big component of that, honestly. But also bringing it back to, again, one of the reasons Erica and I work is the communication between us. So it really is like about, you know, sitting down at the beginning of the year, mapping out what we want to do, If there's tweaks, we do tweak it, but really mapping that out. And then just like reminders between us, we delegate. That's huge. And then also leveraging our network so that, you know, if we have one event, they're setting up the event, and you know, we're just providing kind of the idea and the follow-up timelines. But the communication and then Angela for me is giant in the back.
Yeah.
Working on those.
Communication for sure, Angela for sure. I think delegation is the key. Like, we've really figured out, like, okay, if I was working on Canva to produce the invitation, I'd still be producing January's invitation. Like, it just would not get done. But Sarah can jump on and be like, here's 5 invitations. Which ones do you want to work with? And I'm like, oh, great. That looks great. Let's go. So I think we've also, in being able to delegate, we found the lanes that we also operate incredibly well in, so that we're delegating what needs to happen, you know, appropriately. And then we do sit down, we kind of call it our like Monday huddle. I would say for the most part, we're very consistent with it. Of course, there's things that do come up, but sitting down every Monday and kind of putting 2 hours with like, you know, eyes down, what do we need to do? What needs to be revised? What's on the docket? What's on the to-do list? I mean, we have stuff that rolls, that's kind of a continuation project. We have stuff that obviously has to be done. So that allows us every week to be like, what's top of mind? What needs to happen? What are we still working on? What still needs to change? And I think if we didn't have that structure, it would be very easy to kind of lose the pulse on certain things, or forget about certain things, or projects just kind of continue to push.
And does Angela sit in on those meetings too?
Yeah, Angela's in on those meetings. Yeah. And some of them, honestly, some of them are loose. Like, it's like, okay, we've got a heavy week and we both need to kind of be dealing with stuff that's come over the weekend. We maybe exchange a few thoughts. The other one, okay, well, we've opened up the listing presentation and we're now, you know, absolutely revising it front to back and ensuring that it's exactly where it needs to be, and any edits, any changes, you know, so that it's very topical. It really ebbs and flows. But I mean, when it comes to, I know it sounds like probably a lot for somebody listening, of like, okay, 12 events, this, that, pop by, like, how do you do it all? But it is really doable with the systems in place.
Yeah. I think if you have the right system, then it gets easier to execute. And I think for the two of you, then you get to do the things that you like.
Yes.
Because there's always parts of this job and this business that we just don't like, depending on our personalities, right? You and Canva being a really very good example. If there's agents watching and they want to strengthen their relationship business, they want to generate more referrals, they want to be deeper with their people, where would you suggest they start?
For me, it would be your first impression. So from the moment you pick up the call or you answer the email, I think that's very important. How you show up outside of the work that we do I believe, has led me the repeat and referral business that I have. I even say to people, like, for real, I'm a no pressure agent. I'm not just your agent. After the transaction, I'm still here. I'm not just transactional. Like, I literally say those things to people, because I think how you show up outside is so telling, and why you're going to be memorable, why they're going to refer their friends, their loved ones to you. Because again, I love hosting events. I think they are so important, but not everyone loves those things. And so yes, that's going to make you memorable, but the moment you pick up the phone, do you have time? I know we don't always have time, but did you have time to pop by for a key exchange? And if you don't, in 3 weeks after, did you stop by and be like, hey, or shoot off a video, just being like, oh my gosh, today's key day. I'm so happy for you. Those things that come like, I genuinely mean them. They're not coming across as salesy because I want to say congratulations. And for me, that's how I stay top of mind. But that's also, I wholeheartedly believe, like, why people are attracted to working with me. I show up.
Yeah, love that.
I think for me, I would, and I know we've talked a lot about this, but I would like authentically set your intention, whatever that might be. So in this case, if it was, you know, what would I go and do if I was trying to figure out what is that next thing, I would throw an event. I'd throw a small one. Obviously, we have the large one, but I would throw something that really allowed me to bring people together and see the impact. Because I mean, I was at a baby shower a couple of weeks ago, and you know, we kind of the classic, how are you? How do you know each other? Da da da. And before I could even introduce myself, somebody literally came over and, like, over the top of the introduction, was like, oh my gosh, so Erica, she throws this Christmas, blah, 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 da, 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 da. It was like my entire resume. And I was like, oh, thank you. That's great. I really appreciate that. And I think what I really took away from that was, at the end of the day, I was not just this real estate agent. I was a lot more than that. And I think it then, became so clear to me that the intention behind all of the authenticity that we do day in and day out just resonates to the point that someone wants to literally clamber over top of me introducing myself at a baby shower to tell them their perspective of me. And then it started this entire conversation about other people's real estate agents, to which nobody else was doing anything to the caliber. And I was like, well, that was great. Thanks for that. But again, I think it is so authentic how we show up that it just literally oozes out of, the people that we're actually able to service.
Yeah. I mean, I think for you guys, you don't get to the Chairman's Club, the top 1% across the country by accident, especially in this market, right? It's not an accidental arrival. And I think, what the two of you have done so incredibly well is building this advocacy in your list of people. So when they think about real estate, when they hear you talking in a baby shower, they want to be there because you do these things over and over consistently, time and time and time again. You show up in the right ways. You support them when they need support. You throw this incredible party that no one ever asked for, but frankly loves going. You provide an incredibly memorable experience for them to enjoy with their families. So naturally, of course, when they think about real estate, they're thinking about you. But that doesn't happen by accident. It happens through 18 years of consistent, repetitive, 5 years of I'm going to start my business this way because I know how I want to grow it. And I think for everyone listening, this idea behind intentionality and building advocacy, building community, being really deep in your relationships with people, while it is sort of a strategy, let's call it, it's also that I think is something that comes so deeply from the two of you and just who you are.
Yes.
And I think for people listening, when they come and they ask me, like, how do I build deeper referral business? How do I build deeper relationships with my clients? It kind of starts with that question of like, well, what are you doing right now for people? How are you staying memorable? You don't need to, hand deliver 300 Christmas trees during COVID necessarily, if you've never done that before, but really like just as a starting point, are you doing any of the lower cost activities that would generate, a top of mind experience for people? And I think, once you kind of start from there, then you build it. It doesn't start with 500 people at the Christmas market, but after the number of years you've done it for, then it kind of gets there. And so I think in this incredibly competitive landscape we're in, with how tough the market is right now, how many agents are still out there trading, I think if I can be so bold, the two of you have really crafted this ability to be top of mind, to care, to build incredible value, to show people you're not just some talking head realtor. You actually care about them and their future and their families. And that's why I think you're both as successful as you are. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here today with
Always.
me. Our last question we ask everybody on the show is, what is your signature move? Sarah?
So I would say my signature move is, shocker, definitely the, hey, good morning, happy Friday, or like thinking about you messages, whether it's a voice note, a text, or a really silly video from my car. I'm sure probably all of my clients or agents, friends, and they've received all of those from me. So that would be my signature move for sure.
Love that. Love that. Erica, what's your signature move?
Again, this is going to be shocking. Events. Lots and lots of events. And again, as we talked about, intentionally showing up with your authentic self through those events.
I think for both of you, that's your signature move, showing up authentically.
Yes.
Your hey, good morning, how are you? That's an authentic way for you to show up. There's plenty of people that aren't like, hey, good morning.
Yeah, sure.
Trust me, I get their messages and I'm like, okay, good morning. Like, are you all right? Like, hi. So I think that's probably both of your signature moves. Thank you both for being here today. Thank you all for listening at home. Join us at our upcoming session. We've got some more Chairman's Club agents joining us here on Signature Insights. Ladies, thank you.
Thank you.